your forecast first. Brought to you by McDonald's Shell, your fuel rewards network.
Good afternoon. I'm your local weather authority, Chief Meteorologist Chris Yates. It's been an up and down day. Temperature started up into the 60s. We had a few passing, at least hit and miss showers and storms out there, but the clouds, they've come back after at least a brief shot of some sunshine. 58 degrees currently in Bloomington. Temperatures cooling off. 55 now in Lake. In Galesburg, you're sitting at 52. For the rest of tonight, skies partly to mostly cloudy. Chance of showers returns late tonight and early tomorrow morning as another system heads our way. We'll break down the forecast coming up. WMBD News at 6 starts right now.
It made you think of the things that's happened in the world.
TSA is to be commended, as well as everyone else, for picking this up, because that looks entirely like a bomb.
A scary situation at the Peoria International Airport early this morning. The latest details on the investigation into why people were forced to evacuate one of Central Illinois' busiest places of travel. And that is where we begin tonight. We are continuing to follow developments in a story we first brought you as breaking news this morning. A bomb scare at 6:30 prompted an evacuation of the Peoria International Airport. WMBD's Rachel Kay joins us live. So, Rachel, what exactly caused the problem?
Paul, as you can see behind me, it's really quieted down here at the airport since earlier today, but this morning's commotion started when TSA screened 38-year-old Michelle Davidson's bag and saw what looked like it could be a bomb. She had packed in her checked luggage what looked like dynamite sticks, labeled in fact with the word dynamite on them, as well as a mason jar filled with liquid, wires, and what could have been a timing device. So TSA followed its protocol, which meant calling law enforcement. The FBI and Peoria Police Department's bomb squad came to the airport, but it was the Peoria County Sheriff's Department that confronted Davidson.
She didn't seem surprised. She seemed sort of matter of fact and didn't really understand why it was such a big deal.
The reason Davidson wasn't concerned, she works as a security trainer for the National Abortion Federation, and all of the items in her bag were harmless, meant to train clinic employees on what to look for if they're being targeted. I'll have more on Davidson and the action that the Peoria County Sheriff's Department took coming up later in our show. Paul?
All right, thanks, Rachel. Governor Rauner was briefed on the situation during his visit to Central Illinois today.
We were informed about this incident here at the Peoria Airport. Our state police are part of the process investigating, and we're encouraging everybody just stay vigilant, and we're going to monitor the situation.
He says it's important for you to speak up. So if you see something suspicious, then say something. Rauner says terror is at the top of many minds following the attacks in Brussels and as this situation was developing this morning in Central Illinois. Continuing our team coverage tonight, Hannah Hilliard joins us now with more. Hannah?
Paul, passengers trying to get in and out of the airport this morning were definitely uneasy, especially as we learn more and more about these terrorist attacks across the country or across the globe in Europe and the Middle East. While that's not comparable to what happened today, many people were still on edge. When travelers now hear the words bomb threat, there's an immediate reaction.
I think of ISIS, I think of terrorism, and just one more thing that, we're all nervous about in this country already.
I got to thinking about Brussels and all the things that had happened over there, and we're like, this is Peoria, Illinois.
Colleen Ackerman was up in the air during the lockdown. Her flight had to keep circling before landing. Passengers knew it was a security issue, but that's it.
We were able to land, and everybody just applauded, and we were just real tickled, that we were able to land here.
Polly Hansen missed the early morning chaos, but it was still on her radar later in the day.
When I heard about what was going on at the airport, I thought, I'm never going to get home today because everything's going to be messed up.
Airport Director Gene Olson says it doesn't get more realistic than this, and everyone involved handled it the right way. And that eased the minds of others.
They're on top of things, so that made me feel better.
I'm really glad that we have good protection and good security at the airports, and I'm really glad that they check us as good as they do.
This is good. We got people on the job to these bomb scares go on all over, but it's surprisingly here in Peoria that they have a bomb scare.
Now, we came back to the airport later in the day to check to see if people were adjusting their travel plans at all. But for the most part, people were unaware of what transpired this morning, and that's mostly because there were no delays this afternoon. Paul.
All right, thanks, Hannah. To see more on today's breaking news, we've put our complete coverage on our website, ciproud.com. Moving to the town of Normal tonight, police are reminding people to lock their cars after a spike in vehicle burglaries. The police department sent a bulletin through its app warning people there had been almost 60 vehicle burglaries since the beginning of February, significantly higher than in the past. Police say it's preventable. Most of the burglaries happened in cars that were unlocked. Only 4 of the 60 burglaries involved a forced entry.
Take the opportunity, take the time, take the keys with you, lock the vehicle up, because your chances of becoming a victim drop drastically.
The department says many of the incidents happened in the northwest part of town, and most of the items stolen were either money or electronics. More from the Twin Cities. The Illinois Department of Public Health is collecting feedback from people about its new 5-year health plan.
It's an opportunity for me as a public health director, the local public health director, to see what the state is coming up with for their future priorities.
Members of the community and healthcare professionals met at the Normal Public Library for the 3rd and final public hearing about the new plan called Healthy Illinois 2021. It focuses on behavioral health, chronic disease, and maternal and child health. While most were there to listen and learn, some people did voice some concerns. The department is still taking comments through its website. A final draft of that plan is expected soon. Still to come in today's Active Life, Bob Larson will give retirees looking for love some tips on finding that special someone. And WMBD is making sure you're prepared to weather the storm with a look at the dangers of flooding in central Illinois.
And a few showers and storms moved through the Bloomington Normal area earlier today. Those storms have moved on out. Cooler temperatures are moving in. Could temperatures continue to fall? That full forecast is coming up next.
You're watching WMBD News at 6 in high definition with Paul Ciacchini, Chief Meteorologist Chris Yates with your local weather authority forecast, and Kurt PEGLER with sports. This is WMBD News at 6, Central Illinois proud. Now, your local weather authority, WMBD's Chief Meteorologist Chris Yates.
Welcome back. We had a few hit and miss storms earlier this afternoon. Some of those storms producing some small hail out in Normal today. And there's a nice shot from our sundown roofing sky cam. Those storms are now long gone. Temperatures have dropped off significantly. Upper 60s and low 70s this morning. Now 58 degrees. Winds from the west at 21, gusting to 32 miles per hour. And the air's drying out a little bit, though there's another system coming in from the west. Temperatures coolest out west, 52 in Kewanee, 51 degrees in Galesburg. Temps do warm up a bit as you head out east. Here in Peoria, we are somewhere in between at 55 degrees. Now, skies mostly cloudy as more low clouds begin to come in, but no showers, no returns on the radar. All the strong and severe weather is now pushing well to the east and already through Indianapolis, so the atmosphere is stabilized quite a bit. But there's another system coming in from the west. You can see some scattered rain showers moving through Iowa. That'll be our next wave to bring us another chance of rain come late tonight and early tomorrow. So this front moves on out. Here comes the next system. It'll get us some widely scattered rain showers late tonight through tomorrow. Not a lot of rain, generally less than 1/4 of an inch, but it's also going to bring in another surge of cooler temperatures. So cooler weather looks like it's going to be here to stay for a while. Now here's feature track through tonight. Partly to mostly cloudy skies. Here comes the scattered showers by early tomorrow morning. Your wipers may be a little busy for that morning drive. Your temperatures dropping into the lower 40s out there, even a few upper 30s sprinkled in out west. As we go through the rest of tomorrow, scattered showers on and off throughout the day. Might get a break around lunchtime, only for the showers to redevelop late in the afternoon and early evening. But once this last round of rain moves in around 5 or 6 o'clock tomorrow night, the rain is going to come to an end. Skies will clear out. Temperatures will be dropping thanks to this cold front. And yet another surge of cold air coming in on Saturday. That's the bad news, because we are talking the jet stream really diving south. Cold air coming in from the north. Temperatures will be near freezing, which is going to set much of central Illinois up for some patchy frost. We'll need to be on the lookout for that early Saturday morning. But the weekend, aside from the cool start, is going to warm up nicely by Sunday, upper 50s to near 60. Another disturbance comes in Monday, bringing those temperatures back down into the 40s. Paul?
All right, thanks, Chris. The song goes looking for love in all the wrong places. But if you're 50 or older, it can be even more difficult to find that special someone. In tonight's Active Life, Bob Larson has some tips that could help Cupid find you.
Finding love is becoming harder and harder. The internet is supposed to make things easier, but it can come with its own pitfalls, especially for older adults. So here are some tips from the AARP to help you navigate the world of online dating. First off, be sure that you're ready to date. If you're not ready to date, you're not in a position to find a healthy relationship. Next up, enlist your friends. Ask for their help choosing a profile picture. You may like it, but they're going to be a little more objective. And avoid cliches in your profile. You will find out why when you look at what other people write. There are just too many people who like, quote, long walks on the beach. Next, don't limit your options. Don't create such a long list of things that you don't like that could limit your possibilities. And lastly, take your time and stay safe. There's no reason to rush into anything. Talk to the person on the phone and meet them in a public place, at least until you get to know them better. And living an active life, I'm Bob Larson.
All right, thanks, Bob. Tune in every Thursday for Active Life right here on WMBD News at 6. We'll be right back.
You're watching WMBD News at 6.
If you're just joining us, the Peoria International Airport was evacuated this morning after a bomb scare. WMBD's Rachel Kay is back at the Peoria International Airport with more. Rachel?
Thanks, Paul. I mentioned earlier in the show that Michelle Davidson works for the National Abortion Federation. We contacted the organization, which is based in D.C., and that's where Davidson was ultimately heading. President and CEO Vicky Saporta says they've been using training kits like this for about 20 years without incident, and she wishes there wasn't a need.
Anti-abortion extremists have been targeting abortion providers with threats and violence for many, many years. We've had 42 bombings, 98 attempted arsons and bombings, and 634 bomb threats.
Saporta says they do consult with law enforcement on how to best transport the kits without raising alarm, but the Sheriff's Department says nobody here at the airport was given any advance warning, which ultimately could have prevented a call to the bomb squad. If you're just joining us now and you want more on our full coverage, you can always head over to our website, ciproud.com. Paul?
All right, thanks, Rachel. Switching gears, it only takes 6 inches of fast-moving water to knock over an adult. 12 inches of rushing water can easily carry away a vehicle. According to the National Weather Service, 10 people died in floods in December in Illinois. That number bumped the flooding deaths above tornado deaths over the last 30 years in Illinois. Meteorologist Lauren Rainson has more.
While thinking of severe weather, thunderstorms and tornadoes often come to mind, but few remember the dangers of flooding in central Illinois. National Weather Service meteorologist Ed Shimon says that more people die from flooding right here in central Illinois than from tornadoes.
It does happen quite often, and a lot of times it happens at night.
Determining the depth of water over a flooded area is difficult enough in daylight. Add darkness to the mix, and the risks increase exponentially.
At night, it's very difficult to see the depth of any water on the road, and a lot of times just a sheen on the road could actually be an actual deep water situation or water flowing across roads. So many of our deaths that occur in flash flooding actually occur at night.
Too many people underestimate the power of water. If you ever encounter a flooded road,
Just think about, you know, what's it worth, and it's not worth losing your car, your life, or anything valuable like your family in the car.
Really, staying safe out on the roads is quite simple.
Well, you want to make sure that if there are typical flooded areas, you just avoid them altogether, or just be extra alert for water that's on the roadway that, you know, you may not be able to tell how deep it is.
Be smart, be patient, and remember that nothing is worth a life. I'm meteorologist Lauren Rainson reporting.
Tune in tonight at 10 o'clock for more of our Weathering the Storm coverage here on WMBD. And tonight's extra effort winner has a perfect GPA and has her softball team off to a perfect start. Kurt has her story next in sports.
Now, your local sports with WMBD's Kurt PEGLER.
Special night in Peoria sports history. The 100-year-old Peoria Sunday Morning League, the oldest amateur baseball league in the nation, goes to the movies. A full-length documentary on the historic league premieres tonight at the Peoria Riverfront Museum. Local filmmaker Chris Zobak put together the 90-minute film called There Will Be Baseball. He says it's about players, businesses, and Peoria history.
To have a league that has lasted in its form as an amateur league longer than any other league in the country, you know, I I'm just really thankful to be able to share that and to share the significance of something that has lasted so long and meant so much to so many people.
Every time I bring up this film or bring up the league, somebody has a comment. Somebody says, I know somebody, I played in the league, my dad, my uncle, my grandpa. There's always been that connection, and I think that's what's beautiful. People who are not even baseball people can appreciate that, can appreciate this game and what this game has done for so many people over the years.
The film premieres tonight. There are downtown showings tomorrow and Sunday night, and you can reserve tickets at therewillbebaseball.com. Eureka High won its first softball regional last spring. The Hornets off to an undefeated start this year. As Dan Malloy reports, this week's Extra Effort Award winner is impressing her coach on the field and in the classroom.
The Eureka Hornets are off to a 9-0 start this spring, creating a buzz despite playing without a single senior on the roster.
I think it makes us work a little harder, actually, because maybe then we could get it this year and even get it next year with them, with all the juniors and seniors next year.
Head coach John Stromberger sees sophomore Quincy Buschulte's hard work every day, first in his math class, then on the softball diamond.
I have her in class in math, and she is a top-notch student, a straight-A student, and she just works hard in everything she does. She's just one of those kids that makes your job easy as a teacher and a coach.
Buschulte hasn't allowed her rigorous academic schedule or off-season training program to get in the way of her community service efforts.
I help out a lot at Safe Harbor. I serve meals there with my church and youth group. I just like the people and I like helping them, and they're all so nice and grateful, and I just want to be a part of that.
Buschulte was an all-conference softball selection as a freshman last year. Now she wants to be part of another conference championship team.
I think we know we can do it. We just need to believe we can and stay confident and calm.
Young leaders like Buschulte are keeping each other calm and building that confidence. In Eureka, Dan Malloy, WMBD Sports.
Thank you, Dan. Briefly, NIT title game tonight. Valparaiso with Washington grad Alec Peters playing George Washington University. Highlights at 10. And finally, the famous Madame Tussauds Wax Museum now has a wax figurine of NBA MVP Steph Curry. How lifelike is it? Curry's daughter Riley seems to be holding on to that arm pretty tightly. News is back in a couple of minutes.
You're watching WMBD News at 6.
If you're in the heart of central Illinois, not a bad day.
No, not a bad day in Peoria. Had a few rain showers, but really nothing more here in town. Some hail fell out near Bloomington Normal earlier today, but now pretty quiet. Temperatures are going to be dropping, 41 for a low. Tomorrow, only 52 degrees. It'll be a bit cooler, scattered rain showers possible. So do me a favor, keep those umbrellas handy. You may just need them again tomorrow throughout the day, not just in the morning or in the afternoon. Feel a little soggy at times.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Kurt. Thanks for watching. More news at ciproud.com, and we'll see you at 10 o'clock.